All right, so we actually covered this initial escape a couple of weeks ago, but I want to cover it again because it's super important and it kind of leads into what we're looking at today, which is mainly looking at how we get the underhook on our partner. Because the underhook is everything. It's going to keep him in control of me and it's going to allow me to escape. So if we can get the unhook, it certainly is a good thing for us. So we're going to make our frames. So we're going to make our frame across the neck. We're going to make our frame onto the hip. So when I put this frame onto the hip, I don't want to put this hand in too deep, as we've talked about, because it's easy for him to collapse. I want to put that solid frame of the upper part of my arm, the elbow, like push into the hip. So if he tries to close that space or push in, he's basically got to come through like the bone of the arm. Second hand goes in, so if he's trying to create downward pressure, like I don't particularly need to be like over the top of my push up, but just like a good frame into position. So if he's trying to push down at me, then he's just kind of like choking himself. So once our two frames are in position, we're gonna take the outside foot here, base it to the floor, little turn of the hip, so it kind of makes our knee point down, and our knee is gonna come in through that initial position. So we're not looking to go like full knee across and start coming out this way, although that's a great escape for beginners to practice. When that knee comes across, if he spools through that leg, pinches it down, then it's really difficult for me to continue the escape. So what I'm actually looking to do is I've got that top part of my arm framed against this hip and my knee like framed against this hip. So for him to be able to get close, he's got to get through the top part of my arm and the top part of my leg here. So we make our frames into position. Little movement out and just insert the knee. Then we're going to use that knee and use the arm to start like pushing and creating space between me and my partner. Once I've got him far enough away that this arm can be straight, I can actually change this to a straight arm. We don't want to put the hand onto the hip here because my arm's bent, easy to collapse, and also, oh yeah, nice little wrist lock. But once my arm's straight, we're safe from the wrist lock. So frame in, knee comes in, we start to create the space, put the hand on and create as much space as we can. Now we want the inside here. So when I get the opportunity, I'm going to circle this arm in, put it in to block the crossface. I also want to come inside this arm if I possibly can. So using those frames, I'm going to bring my knee in low, circle it and frame. So knee comes in low through, then we're going to flare the knee. We don't want to be too far across the chest because again, it's too easy for him to collapse it down. We want to flare it out, elbow underneath the knee, so we get this like bubble position. So if he tries to come past it, we've got something to keep him away. Now we could just bring the foot through, go into the guard. But as we're working on the underhook, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use this leg just to lift, to create the space, dive the arm through, come up to the elbow, turn in to the dogfight position. Now I'm not going to go over the dogfight position too much. We'll do that on a different day, but just a super easy one for us to work on here. Just tap the knee, drive forwards, put our partner flat on the back. So again, get those frames into position. Important that we get the correct part of the arm. Little hip, bring the knee to the inside. We're going to just start to create that space between me and my partner. Try to get that inside position. Knee comes in low, flare it out, elbow underneath the knee, so we get this solid position. When I'm ready, I'm going to kick up, circle through, come up to the elbow, into the dogfight position. Okay? So let's review that, get into the underhook. What you work from the dogfight position is up to you, but that knee tap's a nice high percentage one. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Good. So we're going to do like a slightly more beginner type underhook this time. So like we've been smashed down, like obviously we get all these frames, like this is perfect, lovely, lovely. But we're going to just look for the underhook from underneath our partner here. So actually, if you come back a step, when my partner's passing the guard, I've practiced trying to get myself into the underhook so much that if I feel like my partner's, let's just say like he's doing like a knee cut, for example, and I feel like he's coming through, I'll keep my elbow to the inside of my ribs like this on purpose. So instead of kind of like being in the frames here, like the frames are good to a point. And then I'm going to suddenly realize when he's coming through. So I'm going to drop the elbow in, so as he comes through and into the pass, you see how my elbow is kind of already halfway out anyway. Even if he tries to scoop the underhook, and re-find it. It's difficult for him to find it because they haven't got the elbow exposure. If I've got the elbow exposure, then it's easy for him to find. But if I can work on keeping the elbow in tight, so even if he kind of stays where he is, it's a little bit easier for me to pull that through. So if we can catch that early, so you can practice that if you want. Partners in the knee cut, we're framing, trying to stop, pull the elbow in tight, and then we've already got the underhook. Let's say he's already found the position. So I'm going to put this knee by my partner's hip. This initially is going to stop my partner from being able to get up into the knee or belly position. Because if I'm just like laying here like this, he's obviously just going to slide that knee up through and make his transitions. So we're making that pressure into the hip. Going to frame and use that knee to bump and bring that elbow to the inside. Just creating a little bit of space for the elbow to come to the inside. Again, if he tries to re-scoop the arm, it's difficult. Then we're going to come through and we'll get the underhook. Let's say that he's still got a bit of crossface going on here. He's still pressuring through. We've got the underhook. I'm going to use that knee again, use the underhook, just to bump and pull my partner off balance. Then I'm going to start to scissor the legs and come up. But one little nice detail here is this top leg is going to come over and we're just going to scoop over this leg. One of the main reasons we're going to do that is because if I've got that underhook, as I start to turn, if I turn flat, he can just step over the top of me. Here, into that, and then he's got loads of attacks on this top arm. So as I start to turn over, I'm going to grab hold of this leg, lock it in, flare my elbow. Now, we were talking last week about just being able to push ourselves up onto our elbow when our partner's weight is on us. Like, it's just not possible. Like, I'm trying to lift myself up, he's going to push me back down. So I'm going to flare here. Flare the elbow out, then bring myself up onto my knees. Now we need to be a little bit careful here because I've got my leg between his legs. He has rolling knee bars. He can maybe hit, or he's got uchimata, which he can lift and drop me back down. So we can leave it as it is, but fight quickly. This foot, we can window wipe it. So if you look down here, window wipe it and trap the leg here, so it takes away the knee bar and takes away the throw back down. That's a nice little detail that we can use. But once we've got to this position, it's the same as normal. We can tap the knee, drive through, grab the arm, drive my partner back down. If he's pushing back into me, go under, and I can sweep. If I'm trying to reach that leg and he lifts that leg up, then also what I can do is put him back down where his base isn't. All right? So, have a little practice on your partner coming through, but what we're trying to do is get this elbow like underneath his body, and so he's not able to scoop it. Then the arm's going to start to circle through, going to reach across to that far side. Start to scissor the legs, get hold of the leg, flare the elbow. Turn over onto the bed. If you're a little frightened about what he's going to do with this leg here, window wipe, keep the knee to the inside so you've still got the control, but we're just going to pinch it instead. Trap the knee, drive through, and down. Okay? So let's keep working the underhook escape, but this time just add in a few of those little details that are going to stop him from countering when I'm trying to hit that underhook. Okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I just want to do one more. Now, 100% those first two are go-to ones. Definitely. Get those underhooks. Underhook's going to be amazing. This one we're going to mainly use if my partner completely stuffs the underhook. So I've bumped and I've managed to get the underhook through, but he's just kind of like stayed pinched and he's locked in, because any time like they're heavy on this underhook like that and I can't turn to my side and he's still got his crossface in, I'm not going to go anywhere. Now, he does have other options. So if he wants to completely take the underhook out of play, then he brings this arm over, he brings the other hand over, and he starts working his way around to north-south. Now, if he does that, and he starts working his way around to north-south, then we need to make sure that we get the frames in underneath, lift the knees in, and pull ourselves back into some sort of open guard. But let's say we're here, we've bumped, we've got the underhook, he's pinched in, and we can't really do anything with it now. Something that you can maybe use. This hand on the near side, we're going to start taking their gi out. And with the underhook on the far side, I'm going to find the tail and I'm going to pass that across to my underhook. So immediately now I pinch him in and make it difficult for him to go anywhere. If he wants to go around a north-south, I can just lift this elbow and we've got some sort of block. We may even be able to just use the elbow now, start bumping and being able to come out to the back. But for the escape that we're going to use, we're going to take this hand and we're also going to take it underneath, like we did for the ghost escape last week, and we're going to make this double grip on the gi. Nice and tight, and then when I feel ready to go, I'm going to base my feet, I'm going to lift my arms up. Using the grip here, spin, come round to my knees. Now obviously I could just go, right, I'm going to come in and get turtle, but if you've got that grip, you can also like pull my partner down and through into side control. So just options really. We bridge, we frame, we managed to get the underhook, but he's pinched it down. So I take the gi out on the same side as where my other frame is. Pass it across, make that nice and tight. And again, we might use that to start working our escape. Hand goes through, that double grip. When we're ready, we're gonna bump, pull out, spin, pull our partner down, and through into the side control. Slightly different thought process than what we might normally use, but sometimes those different thought processes can be the ones which he's not expecting so much. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, let's go.